Def Comedy Jam 25. It's good to see so many funny people together in one room, all wondering the same thing. Is Katt Williams going to show up? I'm nervous as hell right now. Satan and all shady are my enemy. I don't run from the fight. I'm not scared of consequences, because if you scared of consequences, then that means that breeds fear, and fear means you going to stop. And we can't ever afford to stop. Even Snoop, you understand? And a lot of more people, their career went up when they sat on this man's lap as the director. You understand? And that's why a lot of them sold his soul to be on the director chair. All of these, big deviants is all catching hell in 2024. Katt Williams said it. The lawsuit started coming out right after he said it, and he said all would be exposed. He heavily implied, and this is again an allegation, that Lucien Grange was having some sort of a relationship with Diddy. Remember when Katt Williams dropped those Club Shay Shay nukes and everyone called him crazy? Steve Harvey got so nervous he couldn't even finish conversations about it. But now, as federal witnesses named Snoop Dogg and sealed testimony, and Kim Porter's real diary surfaces with compromising pictures, every wild thing Katt said is becoming federal evidence. What you're about to see isn't gossip or rumors. It's a prophet being vindicated in real time. While Hollywood scrambles to distance itself from Diddy's empire, the names Katt dropped are being read in federal courtrooms. Tonight, we connect those dots. The mainstream media painted him as a comedian having breakdowns. But what if I told you that every single crazy prediction Katt Williams made has become federal evidence? 30 years I've done nothing but collect information. That's all Katt needed to reveal the scope of his intelligence operation. 30 years of collecting Hollywood's darkest secrets while everyone else was chasing fame and fortune. I know so many things I shouldn't know. And they all know it. And there it is. The admission that terrifies Hollywood. Katt doesn't just suspect what's happening in those private parties and closed-door meetings. He knows. He has receipts. He's been watching, listening, and documenting for 3 decades. While other comedians were playing and protecting their careers, Katt was building the most dangerous weapon in Hollywood. Unfiltered truth backed by undeniable evidence. But you don't have to take my word for it. When someone as respected as Candace Owens, a woman who's never afraid to call out power, validates Katt Williams' credibility. You know we're dealing with documented reality, not speculation. There were other people who had publicly alleged that this is what was going on in Hollywood. Katt Williams being one of them. Take a listen to what he said to Shannon Sharpe on his podcast. And this is before the producer had dropped his lawsuit. Take a listen. I'm quite likely to tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth. So help me God. Katt Williams said it. The lawsuit started coming out right after he said it, and he said all would be exposed. And I should make it clear that in this lawsuit, the reason why Universal Music Group is being sued by Lil Rod is because he alleges that it's them that is sitting at the top of this ring. So essentially, Diddy is working for somebody else, and that person that he named in his lawsuit was Lucien Grange. He heavily implied, and this is again an allegation, that Lucien Grange was having some sort of a relationship with Diddy. So he is the person that controls Diddy. That Lucien Grange was aware of these parties. That Universal Music Group was aware of these parties. Essentially, that Diddy is the thug and the gangster working on behalf of Lucien Grange. That is the takeaway that you get when you read this lawsuit. So, how odd that rather than the media being unbelievably interested as I was completely seized by this lawsuit as I was, rather than them asking questions about Fahim, asking questions about Lucien Grange, he's got a very interesting past, changed his name. I don't tend to trust men that changed their last names, least of all 3 times, as his family has done. Rather than any of that, they started attacking me for reading the lawsuit, for putting together the clips. How dare you say that there's some sort of a ring? Listen to that conviction in Candace's voice. She's not just defending Katt. She's confirming that his intelligence network was so accurate that he was exposing industry connections years before federal investigators started building their cases. Candace Owens doesn't just validate Katt's track record. She reveals that Katt had inside intelligence about Diddy's relationship with Lucian Granger before it became part of federal lawsuits. Think about what that means. While everyone else was treating Katt like he was paranoid, he was actually providing intelligence that would later become evidence in criminal investigations. So, they recognize that if you keep calling people a conspiracy theorist and you keep saying it's a conspiracy, that people may shy away from the topic. I don't suffer from that. I want to know what's going on, as should every single person in this country, because there should be no individual in the entire world that can beat a woman on camera and not face any charges. That is just an utter insanity. It begs the question as to what is actually going on in Hollywood. And I think the answer is that Hollywood has been being run by a gang. And here's where it gets terrifyingly clear. Candace doesn't use the word industry or business. She calls it what it really is, a gang. Hollywood isn't run by executives and agents. It's controlled by a criminal organization that operates like organized crime. When someone with Candace's reputation for fearless truth-telling says Hollywood is run by a gang, and that gang didn't want Diddy facing consequences for obvious crimes caught on camera, you're not dealing with the entertainment industry anymore. You're looking at systematic criminal enterprises operating with impunity. The question isn't whether Katt Williams was right about Hollywood's dark secrets. The question is how many other celebrities are trapped in this gang's web of compromise and control. What Katt Williams knew through his network, federal investigators are now documenting through grand jury testimony and sealed evidence. He says he was in possession of a trove of digital evidence from Diddy's freak-offs and parties. His name is Courtney Burgess, and he says a friend gave him 11 flash drives that belonged to the late Kim Porter. And if you follow this story, you'll know that Kim Porter is Diddy's ex-girlfriend and the mother of 4 of his kids. On those drives, the witness says 8 videos featured 8 celebrities at Diddy freak-offs or parties, and that 6 were males, 2 were females. The drive also included a manuscript of an alleged Kim Porter memoir, a memoir that her 4 kids insist is fake. Courtney Burgess told his story on a podcast before he told the grand jury today. And after he told the grand jury, and I mean immediately after, he booked it over to my set and he and his attorney talked to me. I should tell you that he was very limited in how much detail he could go into about his testimony. And because the 8 people in the videos, the 8 celebrities in the videos were allegedly victims of crimes, we know who they are, but we will not be naming them, famous or not. This is news covering federal grand jury proceedings, not YouTube conspiracy theories or Twitter speculation. Courtney Burgess just testified under oath before a federal grand jury about 11 flash drives containing intimate videos of 8 celebrities with Sean Combs. 6 males, 2 females, all appearing intoxicated or under the influence. Notice the anchor's careful language. The 8 people in the videos were allegedly victims of crimes. We know who they are, but we will not be naming them. Famous or not, this isn't entertainment journalism. This is criminal investigation coverage where federal prosecutors are protecting celebrity victims of documented crimes. Even Snoop, you understand? A lot of more people their career went up when they sat on this man's lap as the director, you understand? Oh man. And that's why a lot of them sold their soul to be on the director chair. Tell us some of the differences between the PG version of the book and the R-rated, like what was changed in the to the PG version. The rated book got Snoop letting Diddy rub on his hand. Damn. You understand? And that's where one of the X's come from. Snoop. Can you hold it up a little bit more? Let me see. See how that, oh yeah. Damn. You know what I'm saying? We don't hold our man hand. We shaking and get it back in our pocket. You know what I'm saying? They got Diddy and Neo. And if you heard Neo wife, call him little Diddy, that he like freak off. Get high and get freak off. They all baby wore you up. Oh man, what the hell was that? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Eyes. Not him and his son. That's his son,